Think. Get that match.
I was trying to be creepy. Screw it. I'll do a different one. No, I'll get it. Hold up.
Have my babies.
Here we go. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Ha! 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 Caleb Hyles here with some creepypasta for you. House real big. So here we are on the stream. I'm at my house with the janky camera. That's what I do with my jank camera. Oh, that went off for a second. Sorry about that, everybody. Making sure this is the... That is indeed the microphone. Okay. Everybody tell me if the microphone is good. I will turn up the quality here in a second.
Your microphone is
Really?
in real time, yeah.
Oh, in real time. I was like, dang. Nothing. That's just crazy. Ah!
Are you live?
I am indeed live.
Are you alive?
I am alive. Where is the sound setting? Sound! There we go. Recording. There we go. Let's turn this puppy up. This is low. It's at 100? And it's at microphone boost 20%? Ew.
Yeah.
Dang, this is a weak mic.
That's like how you're like, you.
How about I keep it right here? There we go. That's what's up. Sorry for everybody for the mic busts here. I'm just trying to get this to work right so we don't have a weak stream. But the microphone is really low right now. Goodness gracious. Maybe I'll just hold it. I'm gonna hold it. Is this? Can you check the stream and check and see if this is like causing issues? Because I'm just gonna hold the mic and see if that works. Maybe I'll just be right on top of it. Okay, that's sorry. I can check the stream myself. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, yeah, holding is a good idea. Actually, doesn't sound bad. This is actually a really good quality stream when it comes to microphone quality.
I know.
Surprisingly. Hello, 24 people. Hope y'all had a delightful Halloween, and thank y'all for attending the Creepypasta stream. This is really exciting. I'm happy for y'all to be here, and thank y'all for attending Horror for Hyles and making it as awesome as it has been. Man, this is a janky stream. I'm looking at myself. This is janky as it gets. My lips are red. I'm still in my Epiphany outfit. By the way, if you have not checked out my covers for Horror for Hyles, I suggest you do. I did 6 covers this year, guys. That's 2 more than I did last year, and really proud of it. Really, really happy with all the songs we did. And, excuse me, next year is going to be just as awesome.
17.
Maybe 17 cover every day. I'm like, no. My channel people would unsubscribe. It'd be like that though. People have already done that. But all right, guys, this time is where y'all get to have some fun. I want you to post in the comment section what creepypastas I should do. I'm going to do about 3 or 4 for the evening, so we don't take up everyone's time too much. But yeah, so give me some good ones. Everyone vote. Let's do some democracy here. I have done Abandoned by Disney. I did Where the Bad Kids Go. I did The Rake. I did Jeff the Killer. I did all the basic ones, obvious ones. If there's any new ones that are like new classics from last year or that have been developed through 2015, let's do those. Faraska, 1999. That was the first one that's been suggested. No End House. If I start seeing repeats, those are the ones that are going to catch my eyes, guys. My Halloween was good, Nicholas. Thank you for asking. The house with is No End House and the house with no end the same? That's what I want to know. Let's figure that out. Dang, these do look kind of scary. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Oh, yeah, you did Smile Dog.
I did do Smile Dog. I love Smile Dog. One of my favorites. Actually, I think it is my favorite. I've on the record said Smile Dog is my favorite.
My favorite comes
That one's long though, isn't it?
No, Quitting's really good. That's a new one. Oh, Quitting's really good.
Is it a creepy one though? Is it scary?
It's kind of
It's more story, right?
unsettling and sad. It's good though. It's a good story. I don't know if it's
1999 is long and won't be surprised if it's not read, but you should read it sometime.
maybe you should do like just a recording.
I also did the Russian sleep experiment. I've done that. Mr. Widemouth. Oh, that sounds uncomfortable. Yikes, that sounds uncomfortable. Right now, I'm interested in No End House and House with No End, and He Hunts apparently is a favorite. Slender Man. No one is the House with No End is the same as No End House. Okay, they're the same. Robert the Doll. I've read of Robert the Doll. The Disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. Ooh, sounds interesting. I like that. Why did the PS4 just turn off? I guess. I didn't ask it to turn. Oh, yeah, I just went into sleep mode. Ashley, Kansas. Okay, it's not too long. It's not too long. Okay. All right, sweet. I have that one down. Can we all agree on Disappearance of Ashley, Kansas? Because I have that one up right now. And it's only, I see a reading of it's only like 11 minutes, so it's not too long. Hey, I know you. So many good stories. Now, The House with No End, how is that? Yeah, Lloyd, I backed up everything by about an hour and some change.
Did someone say something?
Someone said, "Oh, OMG, it's finally up."
Sorry.
What are creepypastas? Lol7943. Creepypasta is essentially scary stories. That's it. Literally, that's it. I don't know where the name came from. I don't care. But scary spaghetti. Yeah, it's been a year, dude. Right, Aiden? It's been a year. Dang.
Oh, someone 2 hours ago was like, I don't see Creepypasta stream. Man, people are waiting for this, Caleb. Dang.
Was that on my page?
Yes,
But
someone was like,
one person.
I don't see Creepypasta stream. Sad face. 2 hours ago.
Dang. I'm so sorry, whoever that was.
Oh, it was Sarah Vu. Shout out to Sarah Vu.
It's like 5 to 6 parts. Dang. Are you going to be reading Creepypasta with your cruel, deep, scary voice? I would love to hear one before I go to bed tonight, says Professor Jolabo. What a fun name. Brazil is watching you, Caleb. Mariana is Mariana. She is the entirety of Brazil. Yay, something entertaining while I'm stuck at work. All right, Cassandra, I'm about to make your workplace interesting. Put me on the speakers. I'm about to scare the whole place. My favorite creepypasta, lol, my favorite scary story is Smile.dog. Or Smile Dog. My bad. We have 29 right now. 34. Wow, we jumped up. Hello, everybody coming into the stream. We are about to do some scary stories. Throw out suggestions. Right now, the one I have on me that I have chosen to read is The Disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. Maybe I'll do some lines. Just pick a weird key to be in. There's a new one posted on the site called The Ragman. It was posted today. Can you do funny mouth? Is that Mr. Widemouth? Can I get some insight on that? Is that Mr. Widemouth? Or did you turn the air down again?
Yes, because it was really hot.
Can we turn the bathroom light on? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to be back. Post things. Sandman, Eyeless Jack. I've done Russian Sleep. I've done Eyeless. I've done Jeff. I've done the big ones.
It's scary. Does that even help? Where's your mom and dad? I know, but are they gonna come home soon?
Yeah.
I'd like if they came home soon. I feel safer with real adults. Anyone like that? Anyone on here like in anywhere in their 20s and up, but when they're home alone, they still wish mom and dad or like an adult over 50 were in the room? Anyone else feel that? Campbell Cove, I've heard of that. Why they're called six.
Better question. When you get older,
Everyone's saying yes. I think they're saying yes.
when you get older, do you still wish there was an adult in the room?
Yes, I need an adult here. Adults help me. Totally. Oh, good. Y'all make me feel better. I felt like a wimp. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm a parent because I'll probably still feel the same way.
Probably. Probably. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm a teenager with a drinking license. That is not good, Samantha. You should obey the law. You should obey the
This
law.
cat. You see his cat
What cat?
on here? This little emoticon cat.
Oh my gosh.
This is the best.
Oh, it's right here.
Put that in my face, Lauren.
Lucky you. This is not going to be scary at all.
You should take good things.
All right. I'm going to do disappearance while I got all 42 of you here. The first story starting is the disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. So everybody get excited. Oh, this whole page is covered with SanDisk ads. It's not so scary anymore. That's funny. Creepypasta Wiki brought to you by SanDisk, taking away any fear you might have had in these stories since we bought out this ad space. All right. Yeah, I got a candle for my lighting as a kind of a, homage. All right. This story I'm reading, as a reminder to everybody, I'm reading these cold, completely cold reading. If my inflections are off, if I'm reading a sentence wrong, which will probably happen a couple times, I'm not understanding the speed of the sentence. I put a period where there shouldn't be. I'll try to compensate and it'll sound weird, but just letting you know, cold read, doing my best acting on the fly. And I hope y'all enjoy. This is The Disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. Sometime during the night of August 16th, 1952, the small town of Ashley, Kansas ceased to exist. At 3:28 a.m. on August 17th, 1952, a magnitude 7.9 earthquake was measured by the United States Geological Survey. The earthquake itself was felt throughout the state and most of the Midwest. The epicenter was determined to be directly under Ashley, Kansas. When state law enforcement arrived at what should have been the outskirts of the farming community, they found a smoldering, burning fissure in the earth measuring 1,000 yards in length and approximately 500 yards in width. The depth of the fissure was never determined. After 12 days, the statewide and local search for the missing 679 residents of Ashley, Kansas was called off by the Kansas state government at 9:15 p.m. on the night of August 29th, 1952. All 679 residents were assumed to be dead. At 2:27 a.m. on August 30th, 1952, a magnitude... What in the world? I'm sorry. I'm actually creeped out by the story enough to be like, what is happening? At 2:27 a.m. on... This is interesting. It only occurred an hour earlier. An hour and 1 minute earlier, like 1:01. Okay, I'm going to stop analyzing the story and read. At 2:27 a.m. on August 30th, 1952, a magnitude 7.5 earthquake was measured by the United States Geological Survey. The epicenter was situated under what used to be the location of Ashley, Kansas. When law enforcement investigated at 5:32 a.m., they reported that the fissure in the earth had closed. In the 8 days leading up to the disappearance of the town and its 679 residents, bizarre and unexplainable events were reported by dozens of residents in Ashley, Kansas, and law enforcement from the surrounding area. On the evening of August 8th, 1952, at 7:13 p.m., before all the earthquakes, just letting everyone know we are in the story, A resident by the name of Gabriel Jonathan reported a strange sight in the sky above Ashley. The town itself, having no official branch of law enforcement, called into the police station of the neighboring towns of Hyles. Gabriel reported what appeared to be a small black opening in the sky. Within the next 15 minutes, the Hyles police station became overwhelmed with dozens of phone calls, all reporting the same phenomenon. The phenomenon was never reported by any neighboring communities. A decision was made to send off a trooper to Ashley to investigate the matter the following morning. At 7:54 a.m. on the morning of August 9th, 1952, Hyles police officer Alan Mace radioed the Hyles police station. He reported that, despite following the one-way road leading into Ashley, he had become lost. According to his report, the road continued along its normal path, but somehow ended up back in Hyles. Officer Mace went on to add that the road never curved or bent in any direction. At 9:15 a.m., 7 of the town's 10 police cars were sent to investigate the situation, and all members of the team came to the same conclusion. The only road leading into Ashley stopped leading into Ashley, but instead led back to Hyles. Phone calls continued to pour into the Hyles police station, all reporting that the black opening in the sky continued to grow in size. All callers were advised to remain inside and not to travel outside unless absolutely necessary. At 8:17 p.m., Miss Elaine Cantor reported her neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Milton, and their 2 children, Jeffrey and Brooke, missing. According to Miss Cantor's phone call, the Miltons attempted to leave town in their family car earlier in the evening. They never returned. Law enforcement officials from Hyles never reported the car or individuals coming up the one-way road. At 7:38 a.m. on the morning of August 10th, 1952, phone calls from Ashley into the Hyles police station reported that the town was in total darkness. The sun had never risen. At 10:15 a.m., at the request of Hyles law enforcement, a helicopter from Topeka, Kansas, flew over the region in which Ashley, Kansas stood. The town was never observed from air. At 12:43 p.m. on the afternoon of August 11th, 1952, Miss Phoebe Danielewski called into the Hyles police station. She reported that her daughter Erica had begun to have conversations with her father, who died 3 years prior in a drunk driving accident. To add to her concern, Miss Danielewski reported that Erica was attempting to go outside into the dark to join them. Over the course of the next 12 hours, a reported 329 phone calls were placed into the Hyles police station, all describing similar phenomenon with the children of the town. Yikes. The following morning of August 12th, 1952, the situation became dire. During the middle of the night, all 217 children in the town of Ashley, Kansas, disappeared. A reported 421 phone calls were placed into the Hyles Police Department. Unable to be of any useful assistance, Hyles law enforcement instructed all callers to remain inside and to avoid any and all attempts at finding the missing children. At 5:19 p.m. on the evening of August 13th, 1952, Ashley elderly man Scott Lunch reported a growing distant fire to the south. According to his description, the fire seemed to turn the distant black into bright red and orange that seemed to extend high into the sky. Throughout the rest of the day, calls continued in, stating that the fire, in addition to moving north, now seemed to come out of the black sky. No fire was ever witnessed by any of the neighboring communities or law enforcement officials. The reports continued until 12:09 a.m. on the morning of August 14th, 1952. The last phone call placed by Mr. Benjamin Endicott reported that the fire in the sky had grown so intense that it began to appear as daytime over the town. The phone call ended abruptly. This is from the phone call placed by Benjamin Sherman Endicott. Benjamin. Just hold on. Wait. Continued silence. Benjamin continued. Yeah, I see something. It's to the south. It looks like... End phone call. The next phone call wouldn't be placed until the following evening. The following is the entire transcript of the final phone call to be received by the Hyles Police Department out of the town of Ashley, Kansas. It was placed at 9:46 p.m. on the evening of August 15th, 1952. In this recorded phone call, the officer on duty is Officer Peter Welsh. The caller has been identified as Miss April Foster. Begin phone call. Officer Welsh. Hyles Police Department. Muffled static. Hello? Foster. Yes, hello? Ma'am, who am I speaking with? My name is April Foster. Please, sir, please help me. What is happening, ma'am? Last night, they came back. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to. Last night they came back! Cries. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to calm down and speak clearly. What happened? Who came back? Sobbing. Everyone. Everyone? They all came in the fire. What do you mean, everyone? My son. I saw my son last night. He was walking. He was walking down the street. He was burned. Jesus Christ, he was burned. Ma'am, he died last year. I raised him since he was a baby. It was just me and him. I told him to watch for cars when he rode his bike, but he never wanted to listen. Ma'am, what you're saying isn't making any sense. You said everyone came back? Are you even listening to me? Everyone. Everyone came back. Everyone who died or went missing, they're back. And they're looking for us. He said, Mommy, I'm okay now. I can walk. Where are you, Mommy? I want to see you. Sobs. Ma'am, where are you now? Are you safe? I'm hiding, just like everyone else. We saw them coming through the fields, and some people opened their doors for them. God, the screaming. I don't know what happened to them, but their houses caught fire, and they caved in. I have my curtains drawn. I'm hiding in the closet right now, and... Silence. Ma'am, is everything all right? Are you okay? Silence. Ma'am? Glass breaks. Oh my God. Ma'am, something just came in. Muffled cries. Ma'am, stay quiet as you can. Don't make a sound. Mommy? Mommy? He came inside. Stay absolutely still. Don't leave. Mommy? Mommy? Where are you hiding? Stay quiet. Sound of heavy footsteps. Laughter. Muffled. I found you. Mommy! Indiscernible screaming and noise. Ma'am? Ma'am! End phone call. The following morning at 6:55 a.m., the law enforcement officials of the Hayes Police Department arrived at the location of Ashley, Kansas. A smoldering, burning fissure in the earth was all that remained. And that is the disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. That's creepy. That was creepy. That was weird. That was good. Ugh, that is scary.
What?
I liked the breaking in. I liked that last phone call. That was tight. It's a good one, guys. Good suggestion.
Scary.
A little bit.
How scary about you?
I love the build up to it. I think that was great. Although I thought the earthquake would have a bit more prominence, but it seemed to kind of just go away by the end of it. Excuse me, everybody. Just tell me what the story is, True Gamer, and I'll look at it. You're a 911 operator, Lyrics? Dang. Taily Bone. Oh man, that's old school. Candle Cove. What is that? Is it really long? We're trying to go for ones that are like going to take 10 minutes or less. We're not looking for like... It was less than 15.
Pikachu and Jessica, that's scary.
Thank you, Kyle, for coming out.
You see, we've listened to Pikachu and Jessica. It was really scary.
Oh yeah, Pikachu named Jessica. Also really long though. What you're seeing behind me are reflections in the light. There's no one else up here.
Hey, ooh, like you did last year, but still really scary. Tell them about the thing back here that happened.
What?
That was from the dark yesterday.
Oh, that could count as a story. Maybe. Yeah, I wish I...
Be like, do y'all want to hear a real?
Do y'all want to hear a real scary story? Like a legit scary story that happened to me? In this room that I'm in right now. Ooh, Screaming Jenny sounds really scary. Can anyone send me a link to the story and not have pictures? I was part of a Queen's Guard in England, one of the rare jobs where you can't. Oh man, this looks scary.
What's that? What's up, says I guess.
Student debt? That's funny.
That's pretty scary.
That is pretty scary, Samantha. Good job. I think people who aren't actually scared by a lot of things, that are like legit just like hardcore, like not scared by games or movies or stories, they're like, I've seen things. I think those are those people. But yeah, I'll tell y'all about. I want to read the Queen's Guard story next if it's not too long. But teeth. Dang, these sound really scary. Teeth.exe. Shoot.
Really scary.
Is it got scary images with it?
I don't know. I just remember I just.
What's it about? How long is it?
I don't remember actually. It's my first game.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you all my scary story, then we'll read another one. I like to tell this story mainly because it's, first of all, it's true. And then secondly, because I can't explain it to this day. And I still try to kind of write it off as just a lot of coincidences so I don't freak myself out. But some backstory for y'all. One of my best friends, Phil, him and I, we started a metal band called From the Dark. Some of y'all know it. And if you don't know From the Dark, you should go listen to our music. I would really appreciate it. We have a new album coming out later this year that we finished last year, but we've just have trouble with art and getting it nice and pretty. But go check it out. Go check out our music. We're on Spotify. We have an album called The Opera Ghost. Funny enough, it's a concept album about Phantom of the Opera. So anyway, that's the backstory. We started the band in 2009. And we started working on music. Now, Phil writes majority of the music, actually all of the music. I only help with like fleshing things out with some melodies, helping with vocal lines. So he wrote this series of songs on Edgar Allan Poe stories, and one of them was on the fall of the House of Usher. If you've read that story before, it's really, really scary. It involves this dude who like killed his sister and like was kind of insane, killed his sister and like buried her under the floorboards, or killed a dude and buried him under the floorboards, and other really scary stuff. I knew the story back in the day. Phil was like, I'm going to write an episodic series about it. So he wrote 3 parts to the episodic series of songs. The first one was called Midnight Approach. The second one was called Morning, like Mourning. And the third one was called The Fall. So like, this is the Midnight Approach is when he's actually going to the house. Morning is when he actually kills the man, buries him under the floorboards for some reason or another. And 3 is when the actual, the Fall is when the people actually show up, the guards, and like arrest him and he loses his mind. And you can actually hear the Fall on the Opera Ghost. So you can actually hear a part of this story in the Opera Ghost. And I want to upload that video again because I actually have a video. I have video evidence and audio evidence of what I'm telling you right now. And I wish I could just give it to y'all right now. It was on YouTube. It's since been removed. But because of copyright on my other channel and all that got taken down. So just you're going to have to go off my word right now. So we were practicing the songs, we were getting it all right, and we were recording ourselves as well, but not with video, but with audio. And we were playing through Mourning, Mourning. And we were playing through the first part of the song. It's all, and mind you, what Phil write, metal music, we were a metal band, it can get really dissonant and weird and kind of evil sounding, like a tritone is the word. It's also been called the devil's chord, and that's just me being purposefully romantic, trying to build up the scare here, but it actually is legitimately called tritone, which is the devil chord. Not sure if there's any actual what's the word I'm looking for? Relevance to that, or not relevance, but I don't know sure if there's any evidence for that. But that's what it's called. Moving on. So there's a lot of tritones in this song. There's a lot of tritones in metal. And so simply we're playing through the song. I have my drum set over here in the back. And you see it in some of my earlier videos. If you look deep into my channel, you can see From the Dark doing some practice sessions in this room. And then my drum set. Phil's over here to the right of me. We're kind of separate. We can see each other. I'm playing my drums and whatnot. And we get about 3 measures into the song. And I hear behind me a very distinct And honestly, I've never heard it replicated. I heard this distinct screech that sounded somewhere between a mechanical explosion of sorts, like a very high-pitched frequency explosion, like a whirring, and a scream, and like a female scream, like a really, really high-pitched scream. And I'm not saying it was a female necessarily. It's just I had not heard a sound like it in my entire life, period. So I have audio evidence that I don't have with me right now. There's no, I have audio evidence that'll come later in the story. It gets a little crazier. But we actually have the audio of when that happened. And what happens is that happens to me, and I wish we had video, because I just remember when I heard it, I have never been so shook into place in my life up to that point. I was playing the drum beat and I was grooving along. I heard that noise and my spine just shot up straight. And it took all of me to keep playing, because I was just like, oh my gosh, it was just the most frightening thing. And I had these wide eyes, like, it was cold. Like when people say your blood runs cold, it's not, you don't literally feel cold necessarily, but you freeze. You feel really tense. There's a feeling of you can't move, like a paralyzation of sorts. And so that goes on. I play for maybe another 2 measures before I just stop. I just come to a stop. And I look over at Phil, and if you turn up the volume, you can hear me say it on the recording. I say, I heard the most horrible noise right behind me. I tell him that. And he's like, for real? I was like, yeah, it was just, I don't know. I said verbatim, I said, I don't know what it was. It was freaking weird. And he's like, yeah, really? And then you go over and I end the recording. And then later on in the day, he tells me, because we talked about it the rest of the day, and he tells me later in the day, he says, actually, Caleb, I heard that same noise too, but I didn't want to freak us out. And I said, so did you hear it like by your amp? It was behind me. It was behind me. And he said, no, I heard it over where you are. I heard it behind you. Because we were thinking, we were trying to explain it away, like maybe it came out of the amp, because the amp sometimes picks up frequencies. It can pick up radio signals, and maybe that's what you heard. Maybe that was the voice. And I said, well, if that's the case, it should have been over by you. You should have heard it directly to the left of you, because that's where your amp was. And not only that, it shouldn't have come through at such a high volume and such a high frequency. It should have been more like a radio. But it was violent. It was a violent sound. And he, to this day, is just agrees, like, I don't know what that was about. That was just weird. That was just strange. So that was the first incident in this scary story. And also to give you a little more backstory into that, something a little scarier. The song is written in 6 time. I might have that time signature wrong, but you count off the song like this. The song counts off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it counts like that. And when I went back and listened to the recording, and when I heard the sound, I had gotten through 3 measures of the song before I heard the sound. This is why I brought up the devil's tritone and the devil's chord, because I got through 3 measures of that song. 3 measures. I got through 6 beats, 6 beats, and 6 beats. I'm not making that up. I promise you I'm not making that up. I promise. I would not lie to you that I'm not making that up. You can go back and listen to the file. It's 3 measures. I heard it. And it was in a 6 whatever time signature. I went through 6 beats each time. It wasn't 4, it wasn't 5, it was 6. Crazy coincidence. That's really the only thing to say. Is just an insane coincidence. Or if you want to go deeper with it, the song called Morning, it's about him burying somebody, killing somebody. I mean, I don't know what we might have done. I don't know. We might have conjured something. I don't know. I don't freaking know. But to get a little scarier here. So about 3 years later, we're like, let's experiment. We stopped playing Morning for a while. We just stopped playing it because it was unsettling. We like, okay, let's get the full band here. And just because, I don't know, this is like a stupid part of us. Like, let's record with video. Let's record multiple angles on video. We'll do several takes of the song. We'll have an angle of the full band. We'll have an angle of you on the drums right where you heard the sound. We'll have an angle of the, we'll put a microphone in the attic. So we put a microphone deep in the attic. We actually hooked up what I used to use as my recording laptop and put a Shure, this is important. We put a Shure SM57 into the attic. So I say Shure SM57, and you need to pay attention to that detail of the story, because a Shure SM57 microphone is a directional microphone. A lot of people are asking me what kind of microphone I use and why I use the Shure SM57. It's because the Shure SM57 is a directional microphone, not omnidirectional, not cardioid. It doesn't pick up sounds around it. It picks up exactly what's in front of it. And that's good, though, for people recording in me who don't have a recording studio, because I don't get a lot of the echo. I can record pretty much anywhere. So we put it in the attic. I don't know why we did that. We just put it in the attic because that's what you do, because attics are scary. And we played through the song several times. Went back and watched the tape. And we also turned the lights off. We turned night vision on the camera. We went like full Ghost Adventures with it. Turned the camera on night vision and watched back the tapes and the takes. And the camera, and this is when you could write off a bit, the camera goes in and out of focus a whole lot. Like throughout the whole time, it's just kind of going in and out of focus, trying to focus on something. And yes, we're in the dark and we have night vision on, but we have a pretty clear shot of the whole band. So it's going in and out of focus, zoom in, doing weird things. There's like these weird like tendrils across the screen, cutting in and out. And so that's just one thing that happened with that angle. The second thing that happened on the video is that we had a camera set up right behind me. And this is where it's strange. The camera was on a tripod, and I was doing double bass in the song because that's metal music. So you do a lot of double bass. And the camera has been known on occasion to every now and then, since I'm double bassing a lot, to slip, to move. But what's strange about this is so strange, guys. Like, this is as strange as it gets. Whatever you believe, this is just really strange. Like, just strange. Right around three. What? It was strange. Right around 3 measures into the song, the camera angle on me, it's focused on me. I'm done double bassing. I went through the double bass part in the beginning. I'm just doing normal drum beats. The camera shifts to the right as I get to that 3rd measure, shifts to the right on the open attic door. Which I don't think it's focusing on like the attic door and something in the back, but it moves to the right where it shows my back and the empty space right around 3 measures. It just moves and shows that empty space. And I'm still on the shot, but it shows that empty space right around the 3rd measure, just like it did with the sound when I heard. And it's just strange. Just really, and that was uncomfortable going back and looking at that, because I'd never seen the camera shift as dramatically it did. It shifted really dramatic. It wasn't like a tiny, like, oh, you're hitting the ground hard, so the camera's kind of falling apart. Perhaps something is strange. So it was weird, definitely. But this is the part of the story that's going to be the kicker, kind of this is the part we can't get over, really, because with everything else, we're able to explain with like focus, like, okay, maybe the camera's just trying to find something to focus on and it can't because it was dark. The camera spin, okay, maybe it was like on the tip of tilting over, and then it just did because it was whatever hit I did made it do that. I remember I mentioned the Shure SM57 in the attic. Have you tried playing the song backwards? To this day, we have yet to play the song again. And I think literally my dad has told me, you're not playing the song in this house. Like, Dad and my mom and myself personally, I don't want the song in the house. I just don't. Uncomfortable. We went back and listened to the 20-minute audio recording of our 3 takes through the song. And before we recorded the song, we've been practicing and whatnot. Phil went downstairs to go get a drink. I'm over near the computer doing something, and Tim and Neil are 2 bandmates, by the way. I'm giving them names all of a sudden. These are my bandmates. The 2 guitarists, the bassist and the guitarist, are practicing their parts over near kind of midway to the attic door. And they're just practicing and whatnot. The Shure SM57, by the way, up to this point has been recording for about 8 minutes. And it's just picking up static, and it's picking up our talking. It's like muffled behind the practicing, hitting the drums, all muffled. Everything's muffled. And they're playing a lick and playing a riff. And then you hear this now in the distance. It is in the distance, not right on top. It's not that, dramatic, but it's in the distance, but distinctly in front of the mic. That's the only way I can put it when you hear it. It's like, it's not behind, it's not muffled, it is in front of the microphone. And you hear this loud, like almost like a roar. Like that's really the only way I can put it, like a roar almost. Like a rah. Like it's a really quick, like bah, like something yelling. And it initially kind of sounds like words, like it's saying something, like there is a word there. And you're like, I think that was just something. And I heard it when I was listening to the recording, I heard it. I was like, that's strange. That's weird. What in the world? But I didn't even, I wrote it off because I thought it was Phil downstairs or something, because Phil technically would be in front of the mic then, but down and to the left and a little behind the mic, not so close in front of it. But it goes on, by the way. It goes on. That roar was a bit indistinct and strange. But it was what's after it that really got us. And I know my friend Phil, he's a pretty stone cold, not stone, that's the wrong word to put it. He's I'd say he's not a person of high emotion, like response, high emotional response. You can attest to that, right, Kara?
Yeah, he's not like, he doesn't exaggerate.
He doesn't exaggerate. That's a good word. Doesn't get worked up.
He's very, very, very chill. Like
very chill. Nothing. Unfazed is a great word for Phil. But after that weird noise, there's a pause. It's like a beat. What's crazy about it is it's structured like a sentence. That's what's crazier about this whole thing. So it goes, huh, and then you hear a voice that very much sounds like, or I'll take your life. That's what the voice sounds like. I mean, the first noise, you're kind of like, it sounds like a word, but then you distinctly hear, I mean distinctly, or I'll take your life. A-list recording, if they were to say on Ghost Adventures or whatever it shows, or I'll take your life. And that is legitimately screamed. Legitimately, that recording was screamed. It's someone goes, stop, like screams like, stop. And there's an, or I'll take your life. And it holds it out and it's like a scream. Someone is legitimately screaming in front of the mic, far away, not making the WAV file huge. And I heard it when I was listening back, and I was like, that's really strange, but that's probably Phil. Because I've known Phil to make like silly, scary, silly like metal noises, and a lot of metal music involves screaming. So I was like, okay, whatever. We're playing it back, and I'm playing like some things I thought maybe were weird. I get to this line, and Phil had probably showed the most emotion I've ever seen him show in the years I've known him when it comes to like an audible visual reaction from him. And he's like, what was that? Like an instant, like, what was that? And I said, because I showed it to Tim and Neil right after I heard it. And I said, what's this, guys? And like, oh, that's probably Phil. Like, we all thought, oh, it's probably Phil. But then Phil goes, and I said, wait, that wasn't you? And he's like, why do you think that would be me? When have I ever made a noise like that? I'm like, I mean, you haven't necessarily, but you've kind of made weird screechy noises before. It's like, that wasn't me. I haven't done that yet. Did y'all hear me? I was like, no, but I thought maybe. It's like, I did not do that. I did not make that noise at all. So at this point, Phil's also not one to lie. He's not, like we said, he's not one to exaggerate. Seriously. At this point, we all freak out a little bit. Actually, a lot of bit. Because we're like, okay, now, well, if you didn't do it, I didn't do it. What in the world just happened? So we just kind of stopped. We'd already played everything at that point, but we freaked out a little bit. We went downstairs and stayed outside for a good while before we came back up here. But yeah, I have, man, this computer got wiped, so I don't have any files for y'all. Otherwise, I'd play it. But you need to remind me, Kara, because I need to get those files and upload it, because they are somewhere. I have them. They're on that external that's falling apart. So I will do my best to upload this file for you guys and upload the video file, because it has all the evidence in a concise place for you to see, and you can make your own judgment on it. But it's a real thing that happened, and it was a real scary thing, and everyone we've shown it to has been like, that is strange. That's the birth word description. You're just like, because when it happens to you, and it's not so, I guess, obvious, like as an apparition kind of thing, or as like you heard it in real time, and it was very obvious that that wasn't anything human. I'm gonna try to find the file for you guys and just like maybe we'll have a stream about it because I'll let y'all see it. It is weird that my camera went out. That is very strange. The stream is still going. Oh, that is so strange. I'm so sorry, guys. That probably freaked you out more than maybe. There's a lot of people replying. Oh, gosh. I've just freaked everybody out. They know. Samantha said, guys, you were just a part of the ghost. I'm serious. I bring it up. And this freaking happens, guys. I didn't do that. What? Guys, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do that on purpose, Brian. That was not me.
He really didn't do that, guys. I'm sitting.
Someone said, Eva, that scares me. Dang, guys. Shoot. Shoot, guys. There's your scare for the night. It's not even any scary stories. It's me telling a real life story, and then y'all getting maybe, just maybe, a tiny bit of evidence of its truth. Wait, it went out again? Oh, what the frick is happening? There's some full level creepy S going on here. I need some Jesus. My Lord, you're gonna die. Guys, I'm okay up here. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the light real quick.
More people are watching.
If the lights go out, we're quitting. I'm turning everything off.
And we're driving back.
And we're driving back to Auburn.
Gonna go to Walmart.
Oh my goodness, light's loading. Oh man.
I mean, there is bad weather outside.
Yeah, admittedly there is bad. Well, the bad weather stopped. The rain stopped. And even when the rain was going on when we started this, we didn't have any issues. Okay. All right. Oh, nope. All the lights go on. Oh. Oh, man. Are we?
Q&A instead.
Everyone's like Q&A. I have like 5 people who are like Q&A time, right? Yeah, I'll read like another creepypasta story, guys, and then maybe I'll do some Q&A. So.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
whoa.
we're gone. We're burning this place down. Ashes and ashes.
Right next to Ashley, Kansas, guys.
Am I too late? I didn't get the notification for oh, Ava, you missed it.
Ava, go back whenever the stream is done. Ava.
You lost 10 people.
Where are you at? What are we at? All right.
It was 75.
All right, we're gonna go to Twitter and we're gonna check out some of my tweets and we're gonna check those out to do those.
Nope, I'm out for now. People are legitimately like leaving. Right?
No. Stream is done. Ava.
People are like, I'll come back for the Q&A. Caleb, is your live stream goes out from my Bible. I mean, you should do that.
If the live stream goes, I'm getting my Bible. All right, don't leave, everybody. We will do a Q&A. It'll be brief, but I want to read one more. I said I would do creepypasta. I'm gonna do at least one more creepypasta for everybody. I told that. Hey, honestly, y'all just got your money's worth. I'm not like this was worth money or anything, but you got a scary story, then you got a true scary story, and then you got the scary happening. So, I mean, it happened directly to all of us. All right. Let's see here. Getting some tweets.
Obo's stone cold. She's like, I haven't been scared at all.
Obo's like, I'm fine.
I mean,
it can all be explained. Like, okay.
It is kind of creepy being here where all that went down, and the fact his camera did kind of go a little nutty. That is unusual, but not, just all the hype around it. What makes it a bit more creepy.
Yeah, right. Here I go again on my own. On down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. Okay, let's see. Screaming Jenny. How long is this? Oh, not long at all.
Sadly,
It's Screaming Jenny.
that
Yes. I don't want to just start reading. I don't care. Sure. Wattpad, you can have all my crap. I don't care. Just get me through. Start reading. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone.
That is awesome. Should you wear a hat while you read this story?
What hat?
The purple hat in the background.
Where's the purple? Can you grab that purple hat? You're close.
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to do Screaming Jenny, and then we're going to move on to a little bit of a Q&A, guys, just for y'all. So, yeah, Ava Taylor Jenny, enjoy this. This is for you. Excuse me. Excuse me, goodness. Lul's leaving if it's not scary enough. Now I have to match up. Screaming Jenny, a West Virginia ghost story by S.E. Schlosser. Or Schlosser. Schlosser. Wow, that's really difficult. Here we go. The old storage sheds along the tracks were abandoned shortly after the Baltimore and Iowa. We're off to a great start. The old storage sheds along the tracks were abandoned shortly after the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad was built, and it wasn't long before the poor folk of the area moved in. The sheds provided shelter, of sorts, although the winter wind still pierced through every crevice, and the small fireplaces that the poor constructed did little to keep the cold at bay. A gentle, kindly woman named Jenny lived alone in one of the smaller sheds. She had fallen on hard times, and with no family to protect her, she was forced to find work where she could and take whatever shelter was available to someone with little money. Jenny never had enough to eat, and in the winter her tiny fire barely kept her alive during the cold months. Still, she kept her spirits up and tried to help other folks when they took sick or needed food, sometimes going without herself so that another could eat. One cold evening in late autumn, Jenny sat shivering over her fire, drinking broth out of a wooden bowl, when a spark flew from the fire and lit her skirt on fire. Intent on filling her aching stomach, Jenny did not notice her flaming clothes until the fire had burnt through the heavy wool of her skirt and began to scorch her skin. Leaping up in terror, Jenny threw her broth over the licking flames, but the fluid did nothing to douse the fire. In terror, Jenny fled from the shack and ran along the tracks, screaming for help as the flames engulfed her body. The station was not far away, and instinctively Jenny made for it, hoping to find someone to aid her. Within moments, her body was a glowing inferno, and Jenny was overwhelmed by pain. Her screams grew more horrible as her steps slowed. She staggered blindly onto the tracks just west of the station, a ball of fire that barely looked human in her agony. She did not see the glowing headlight of the train rounding the curve or hear the screech of the brakes as the engineer spotted her fire-eaten figure and tried to stop. A moment later, her terrible screams broke off as the train mowed her down. Alerted by the whistle, the crew from the station came running as the engineer halted the train and ran back down the tracks towards poor, dead Jenny, who was still burning. The men doused the fire and carried her body back to the station. She was given a pauper's funeral and buried in an unmarked grave in the local churchyard. Within a few days, another poverty-stricken family had moved into her shack, and Jenny was forgotten. Forgotten, that is, until a month later when a train rounding the bend west of the station was confronted by a screaming ball of fire. Too late to stop, the engineer plowed over the glowing figure before he could bring the train to a screeching halt. Leaping from the engine, he ran back down the tracks to search for a mangled, burning body, but there was nothing there. Shaken, he brought his train into the station and reported the incident to the station master. After hearing his tale, the station master remembered poor, dead Jenny and realized that her ghost had returned to haunt the tracks where she had died. To this day, the phantom of Screaming Jenny still appears on the tracks on the anniversary of the day she died. Many an engineer has rounded the curve just west of the station and found himself face to face with the burning ghost of Screaming Jenny, as once more she makes her deadly run towards the Harper's Ferry station, seeking in vain for someone to save her. Spooky tales from West Virginia. Isn't that fun, everybody? It must be a true urban legend because that's on like the American Folklore website. So I guess a true urban legend. True. Right? Here's a cute little story. I don't know if this one's any good, but yes, this story is called Roommate. It's literally going to take 4 minutes, or maybe even less. 3:30 a.m., of course. I stared at the red lights of my alarm clock, trying to salvage some sleep before I had to wake up on Sunday. It's been a rough week, and I knew next week would only get worse. As I lay in bed, I heard a door open and close. It must have been Dan, my roommate. He must have gone to a bad party to be back this early. Can't go to sleep. The sentences run over and over in my head. I hear Dan's door open and close again, then again and again. As the frequency and loudnesses of Dan's door opening and closing grew, my tolerance for the sound diminished. I yelled to Dan, "Stop that! I'm trying to sleep!" Too late. As the words escaped my mouth, I remembered something very important. As my door creaked open, I remembered Dan left for the weekend. Ooh. That's great. Well, guys, those are some scary stories. She poured broth on her skirt, broth like the liquid of a soup. Because reasons. So, let's have a vote, because I think this is fair. Do we want some more scary stories, or do we want Q&A? Both are only going to last about 15 minutes. Or maybe 20. We know how it really goes, though. So we need votes. I'll just see them, and then I'll make a choice here, because it's up to y'all. What do y'all want? One person does not decide. It's a democracy on this channel.
Creepypastas. Whoa. Wow. How do I hide?
Oh, I see stories. People came for stories, y'all. And I see some Q&As. Half and half. Scary stories, scary stories, stories, Q&A, stories. Scary Q&A story. Straw poll. Like, oh. Look at all these comments. Dang, everyone's here now.
What about scary Q&As? Hey, what can I ask scary questions? How about you read those short ones are really nice. Maybe in between short ones you like answer like the first like 5 things you see, first 5 questions or something.
Right.
How's that? Would that be fair? If you kept reading a few more stories and in between you'd answer like 5 questions. That's not bad. But really, I've seen Candle Cove a lot. You look sleepy. Tell them why you look sleepy, Caleb.
Why I look sleepy?
Yeah, those dark circles under your eye.
Oh. Because I did a cover of Epiphany this morning from Sweeney Todd. If you have yet to check it out, I know it's uploading on a Saturday, so that's a bit different. But I did a Sweeney Todd cover, so go check that out. All right, guys. I'm going to do a mixture of both, Q&A and spooky stories. So, all right. I'm going to do the, I was part of the Queen's Guard in England. Now, obviously, for anyone to see this, this has a lot of language in it, colorful languages, I should say. And while I don't necessarily have an issue with colorful language, I know some people do. And so I'm just going to cover those words up with some friendly PC words. Ooh. So, but the story does look really scary. So I will do this story. And then we'll move on to some Q&A. How about that? How about that, guys? Yeah, this is the Queen Creepypasta, Nessa. I think this is the Queen Creepypasta. But yes, I do play console games flaming. All right, before I get caught up in questions. Here is, I was part of a Queen's Guard in England, one of the rare jobs where you aren't allowed to move no matter what stands in front of you. This was the best of 2012 and 2014 winner in post. Dang. All right. Here we go. This happened to my brother-in-law 2 years ago. I'm telling the story exactly the way he told me it. He appeared very genuine when telling it, and you know what? After all that's happened to me, I have no reason not to believe him. And as for you, well, you be the judge. I was in the English Army, 2 tours in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan. My mom absolutely hated the life I chose, and I can't really blame her. But you know what? The effed up part is that the biggest horror I've ever experienced wasn't in one of those crappy Eastern places. No, it was in the very center of European civilization, London. After I finished my 3rd tour, I was awarded by the Army. Apparently, surviving fighting the Taliban in the mountains is reason enough to be honored. They offered me a spot in the Queen's Guard. I'm not sure how much you know about that, but in England, it's a pretty big deal. And I hated it. I was permanently stationed at home, and as a reward for my bravery, I was now standing in front of buildings, motionless, while annoying Chinese tourists tried to make me laugh. I wanted out, but the honor of the position, combined with my mother's happiness that the biggest danger I'd ever face would be an Asian tourist, I had no choice but to do it. Only if I knew I'd be safer in some cave in Kabul. So I was stationed to work at the Tower of London a few shifts a week. Shifts were usually 2 to 3 hours long, depending on how many people worked that day. Gotta tell you, that job gets old really quick. Drunk people who try to mess with you, along with the annoying tourists who think they're the first ones to ever try to make you laugh, you just want out of your own skin. But it was a job, and it paid. So I just shut up, and I did it. Now, this one day in 2012 started boring as any other day. I had a few French guys trying to mess with me. God, they're the worst. And you can't do crap unless they threaten you. Then I had a group of drunk Russian chicks, which wasn't so bad. The heat was just starting to melt that freaking hat into my skull when a huge group of tourists showed up. Some sort of a guided tour, I assumed. They all did their standard spiel, pictures, funny faces, jokes, etc. They all had their cameras out, and they all wore the same t-shirts, some Big Ben tour BS. All but one. I noticed her standing in the back, just staring at me. She was a good-looking woman, probably early 40s, really dark long hair and somewhat pale, which made me think she was English. She did seem to be part of the tour as she stood there with all the others. After the group finally took pictures and realized I wasn't going to laugh, they started moving on. Except the pale woman, who stayed and kept watching me. Now, I've seen my fair share of people doing all kinds of stupid stuff to get a reaction out of me, but this was a new one. Not only that, this lady was committed. 2 hours and hundreds of tourists later, she still stood in the very same spot, just staring at me. The day got pretty hot, and there was no way she was comfortable. But I ask you not. She was calmer than I was. She wasn't smiling, which was strange because I assumed she was trying to make me react. About 30 minutes later, when the crowd around me slowly died out, she took a slow step towards me, then another one. Here we go, joke incoming, I thought, as she took her sweet time walking up closer. She stopped about 2 feet away from me. She was looking straight into my eyes, tilted her head to the left, then to the right, which I assumed was her attempt at making me laugh. Then I realized this woman wasn't here to joke around. Still standing at 2 feet away, she started leaning towards me. There was something just so effed up about her mannerisms that made me extremely uneasy. She never lost eye contact with me. She kept leaning towards me while her feet never moved. Her face stopped just short of touching mine, and her position seemed unnatural at that point. Her head started slowly shaking, like when you get out of the pool or a shower and are freezing, And then she scared the crap out of me. I had people screaming in my face. I've had people screaming in my face. I even had a moron trying to fight me. But what she did was by far the worst. She opened her mouth as if she were about to let out the loudest scream. But nothing came out. Nothing. She just stood there, leaned at an unnatural angle, inches from my face, letting an effing silent scream or whatever that was out of her wide open mouth. And the speed of her shaking head increased. Now, I'm not going to lie. Even though it was really hot that day, I started feeling cold, and goosebumps ran under my uniform. I finally got myself together and started marching away from her. We are allowed to do a 10-step march occasionally. This was useful at this point. When I got to the end of one way, I stopped and closed my eyes. I just wanted her to be gone when I turned around. As I made a 180-degree turn, I instantly froze. She was right in front of me, leaned all the way to my face, mouth open even wider, head now shaking uncontrollably. I was so taken aback, I was unable to react. Noise, screaming, and other stuff I can deal with, but this silent, creepy freaking behavior was honestly intimidating me. "Make way for the Queen's Guard," I yelled, as my voice cracked. We are allowed to say that when someone is in our way. She didn't react, but she did lean farther to about an inch from my face. "Make way for the Queen's Guard," I yelled even louder, hoping my voice wouldn't break. She had absolutely zero regard for my orders. Unwilling to deal with the BS any longer, I stepped back and pointed my bayonet at her. That was our last resort for annoying tourists. She immediately closed her mouth and leaned back into a normal human position. I wasn't going to wait for her to do whatever she was about to do, so I started marching around her. When I got back to my post, I turned around and stood still. I couldn't see her in the corner of my eye, which gave me a huge relief. Jesus, this freaking job, I thought to myself. I'm going to have to look into 10, 9, 8. Someone whispered into my right ear. It must be her. She was behind me. 10, 9, 8. Whispers came from my left side. Goosebumps were at an all-time erect now. Hilarious, isn't it? Combat vet. Killed more people than he'd ever want to admit. Is now scared to hell of some crazy tourist lady. 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8. She sped up her whispering, then walked in front of me. 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8. She was now whispering incredibly fast. Actually, whispering doesn't describe it properly. She was like yelling, but in a whisper tone, if that makes any sense. It was surreal. She leaned towards my face again, whispering those freaking numbers frantically. I was about to break my orders. I couldn't take it anymore. There was something really messed up about this woman, and I couldn't deal with it. "Ma'am," I spoke in a voice of the biggest scaredy cat. "Ma'am, will you please step?" And then a huge group of loud tourists ran up to us. The crazy woman leaned back, still looking at me. She whispered, 10, 9, 8. One more time, while never losing an eye contact. Then she walked away as slowly as she moved around me. It was so strange watching her slowly disappear into the crowd. All that was left was a strange feeling of something unnatural. That and a group of life-saving Asian tourists. Never thought I'd be so happy to see a Nikon snapping Chinese guy. After my shift was done, I went into our base and told the story to a couple of guys. They all had some experience with creepy people, but never on this level. When our shift commander came, guys jokingly told him how I was abused on duty. He wanted some laughs, so I asked for the full story. But when I started telling what happened, he quickly lost his smile. Stop, he said. "Did you talk to her?" "Sir?" I asked, intrigued. "Son, did you or did you not speak to this woman?" I wasn't going to lose my weekly pay over breaking that stupid no-talking rule, so I lied. "Of course not, sir." He seemed to calm down. "Good. And if she ever comes back, never talk back. Understood? And that goes for all of you." Joking atmosphere quickly died out in the break room. I was puzzled, but I was even more tired, so I decided to go home and sleep instead of worrying about crazy freaking tourists. Next few shifts went by, as boring as they were supposed to be. Woman was nowhere to be seen, and since my girlfriend was about to visit me all the way from the Netherlands, I forgot about the incident. Tuesday night, around 3 a.m., I was awoken by a loud banging at the door. For some strange reason, the first thought that crossed my mind was, that freaking woman from a week ago. "Babe, would you mind peeping through the hole to see who it is?" I lazily mumbled as I gently pushed my girlfriend. She was dead asleep. I swear, nothing could wake her up. Semi-conscious, I stumbled through the hallway to the door. "Who is it?" I muttered while peeking through the hole, but it was too dark outside. That sobered me up. "Who is it?" I asked again, but the only answer I got was louder banging. F it, I thought as I took a deep breath and opened the door. There are about a million things I'd rather see standing in front of me at that moment, and there was only one person I did not expect to be at that door. My girlfriend. I was supposed to pick her up tonight. I nearly lost all control of my legs. 1,000 things raced through my mind, which was having trouble comprehending what in the frick was happening. "Thanks for picking me up at the Heathrow, a-hole," my girlfriend said as she slammed the carry-on on my chest. I was still speechless. "So I travel all the way from Amsterdam to see you, and you forget. Really?" I wasn't hearing it. I knew I was half asleep when I got up, but there was someone in my bed. I wasn't dreaming, for frick's sakes. Stay here, I mumbled as I handed her the bag back. What's wrong? Just stay here. Not knowing where I got the courage to walk to the bedroom, I slowly made my way. I know what you're thinking. In movies and books, guys walk into the room and boom, it's empty, right? I freaking wish. I walked into my room and it was completely dark, but I could hear breathing, heavy breathing. My pulse was so high, I was sure I was going to pass out, but I flipped the switch. 765, 765. Whispers came from the corner of the room where she stood. That same freaking woman. She stood almost glued to the corner of the room, her back to the wall. She was looking straight at me, and though I was sure I lost the power of speech, I managed to squeeze out a, what the frick? 765, she said as she took the first slow step towards me. Her mouth was always wide open, as if she were letting out that damn soundless scream. Every step she'd make, she'd close her mouth enough to say, 765. I couldn't move. Nothing in this world existed beside this woman slowly walking towards me. What a creepy and unsettling feeling. Like I wasn't physically afraid of her, right? I could take her down, and I was ready to. But this kind of fear was something foreign to me. Something seemed like I was afraid for my, I don't know, soul? You know what I mean? I knew she couldn't hurt me physically, but I was still scared. Not to mention, I freaking somehow slept in the same bed with this whatever the heck she is. She came incredibly close to me, the familiar lean, an inch from my face. My breathing was so irregular and loud, it was the only noise in the room. 765. Suddenly, something about this had a strangely familiar feeling. What the F? Scream came from behind me. My girlfriend. I snapped into reality, turned around, and grabbed my girl. Run! I yelled as we escaped the room. We ran to the kitchen where I grabbed one of those as seen on TV steel cutting knives. My girl was just silently weeping at my side, unable to even ask questions. I could hear footsteps. First, I saw her shadow. Then I saw her calmly walking through the hallway. Her mouth was now so unnaturally wide open, and she wasn't looking at me anymore. She was looking at the ceiling as she slowly made her way to the door. Her head was shaking fast. It was abso-freaking-lutely surreal, I am telling you. I mean, just imagine this woman who creeped you out a week ago is now walking through your place at 3 a.m, staring at the ceiling with mouth impossibly wide open, not to mention you slept next to her for who knows how long. When she finally walked out, I ran to the door and slammed it. Girlfriend was still unable to speak. When we got ourselves together, I was afraid she'd think I cheated on her with this woman, but she didn't. She saw that horror walk through our hallway and she knew something was wrong. I was terrified, but I didn't let it show. The scariest part of everything was that I had a job that required me to stand still and not react to my surroundings. I told my girlfriend about my experience with this screwed up woman, but I didn't mention her 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 whispers. I didn't want to scare her any further. Because what could those whispers be if not a countdown? Wow. And I was part of the Queen's Guard. Dang. That is scary. That's really scary. Ugh. 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 That one's freaky, guys. Ugh, boy. All right. That's your creepypasta. It's a bomb. That's what I'm thinking. See my Bible tonight. There's a part 2? Oh, that's cool. That's tight. How long is part 2? I did Ben Drowned last year, Ashley. I love Ben Drowned. Man, whenever that bed part, that freaked me out. That really got me. I've heard that one before, but that was really put in such a way that was really uncomfortable. That was really good. Oh, man. Ugh. Ugh. I did do Russian sleep experiment as well. True Gamer. I didn't get the tweet for part 2. I did dead. I think, yeah, I did Dead Bart. Look at that, Future Rail. Thank you for coming, bro. Shout out to Alpex Onyx. Thanks for being here, bro. I really appreciate it. We're about to do part 2. I didn't do Ben Drowned? I thought I did. I thought in my 3 creepypastas I did Ben Drowned.
No, you and me and Lindsay.
Oh, we just watched the Ben Drowned. Man, it was really scary. Ben Drowned was so good. All right, where's part 2 of this thing?
Oh man, people like really want to know.
Oh, I just saw that.
Is it like Hitman Pokemon?
Where's part 2?
Hitman's all over house guy.
Part 2. Where are you, part 2? Oh, here we go. All right, I found part 2. It's pretty long. It is really long. It's like longer than the first one. Is that what y'all want? Do you want to move on to a Q&A? Or do you want, because here's the thing. I got to go to bed pretty soon because I got to wake up early. Do you want, at this point now, do you want Q&A or do you want part 2 of this? That's where we're at right now. Okay, we got a lot of part 2s. Part 2, part 2, part 2. Dang. Part 2. Part 3. True Gamer, you can't put it in twice. Good bed. Good night, Bloody Stains. Thanks for coming out, man.
Goodbye.
Good bite. Good bite. Oh yeah, we also have the clocks go back for us too. So technically right now it's actually 10:45.
Holy crap, we have a whole other hour.
I got a whole other hour to sleep.
Yay.
I'm gonna take advantage of that hour though.
We're such crazy Halloween guy.
All right, guys. All right, I'm gonna meet y'all halfway. We are gonna do part 2, but for the next literally 5 minutes, I am going to do brief Q&A. So give me some questions for the brief Q&A. I'll answer as many as I can. I'm gonna move on from questions I've answered a lot though, or I won't spend a lot of time asking or answering really like too deeply, even though I do that a lot. But yeah. So if you have questions, ask them because we are going to do this for the next 5 minutes, and then we're going to move on to part 2, the finale of I Was Part of the Queen's Guard in England.
Oh, also mention your husband Lisa.
Oh yes, and I will mention that. I will do part 2, Jinbei. Favorite animal? Lion. How old am I? 24 now. Just turned 24 October 14th. Favorite anime is probably Toradora Clannad. Favorite Steven Universe character, Pearl. What's your favorite type of video game to make? A video to make? Music videos, easily, Aubrey. I love the music videos. Those are my absolute favorite. I really like putting on makeup, funny enough. I've learned to like it. It's just a blast. Will you do In the Dark of the Night? Says Lloyd. Eventually I will. I will. Probably gonna have to save it for next year more than likely. I know it's been asked a lot, but I just know it's one of those covers too. Much like all of these Horror for Hyles covers aren't really huge bringing in the viewers, but it's just fun. Can you do a cover of Hypno's Lullaby? I've never even heard it actually. I should go and listen to it. Tim E says, I've been following you for 3 years. Just wanted to say thank you for continued entertainment. Good night. Thank you, Tim, for being such a long-time follower. 3 years. Dang, that's before Let It Go hit, dude. You've been around a long time. Really appreciate that. Oh, my gosh. Y'all were not kidding with the questions. You put them in. What camera do I record with, says Bailey. I record with a Nikon. I really can't tell you what. I know it's a DSLR. Here's that. Yeah, you move back an hour. You fall back. It's a daylight savings. Caleb, where can I find the song you were talking about in your story? The morning song is not actually, well, hold on. It might be on SoundCloud, actually. I don't want to lose the questions. I'll get to it in a second. Remind me lyrics, and I'll tell you. May you sing Hello from Adele? Yeah, remind me on Twitter. Yes, I am going to sing Hello from Adele, probably on Monday. Will you like to do a story with Mr. Creepypasta? I would love to do a story with Mr. Creepypasta. I love Mr. Creepypasta. I've seen him live twice. He's amazing. Have you ever tried Brahman? I've never even heard of it. Sorry. I'm trying to scroll up the questions here. Do you have a video for the scary real story? I do have a video, Lisa. It's not with me. It's a 5-minute, 30-second video that I made that compiled all of the evidence and all the things that happened to me throughout the course of that storyline. It's on my external hard drive, which currently is broken, which is a scary thought. So all my files are on that. But once I get that hard drive and get it working, I will totally upload that video for y'all on my fan page, and y'all can watch it and see it. And it's really nuts. Just keep reminding me too on Twitter and my email, and I will get it up. Favorite cover to make? I really love doing the Steven Universe Stronger Than You, and that's not a lie. If there's one piece of life advice that you've learned in your time that you would like to give, can you please do say it? True Gamer, great question as always. It might be a bit deep for the time being, but a recent one: get premarital counseling. Do it. Just do it. I don't know if this even applies to the 59 of you watching. Just do it. Go and get premarital counseling. Smartest decision you can make for your relationship. And be kind. Be kind and try to understand each other. That's seriously. Try your best to be understand. Don't have an opinion about everything off the rip. That too. Just don't be so opinionated. Just don't. Doesn't help. How many more people do I need to get the comment in the dark of the night? Lots. Did you do drugs when you recorded and edited Caramel Dancing? No, did no drugs, Fade. I did no drugs. PHAD, faded. No. Oh, that's funny. Will you do Bink Sake from Bink Sake from One Piece? Probably not. Puppies or kittens? What's your best kittens? Favorite MLP character? Rarity. OMG, you have my Siz's B-Day. That's awesome. October 14th rocks. Second favorite game? Oh, dang it, Brian. You know my favorite. I don't know. Second. Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Why not? We'll just give it some attention for now. It needs it. I love your music. Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you for being here, too. Favorite Vocaloid? The one that's most popular. Miku. Yes, my favorite anime is Clannad. Tips for singing. Don't push yourself too hard. Seriously. And if you do, don't do it daily. Favorite alcoholic drink? Rum and Coke or Disaronno? Disaronno is my favorite mixer, yeah. Person you would like to make a collab with? Peter Hollins. That's all Aubrey wanted. Now she's out. See you later, Aubrey. Male or female line? Male. Not like I have anything against the female line. I just love that mane. Will you do any more Sia songs? Potentially, yes. Have you ever tried a steak? Of course I've tried a steak. It's awesome. Do you like making YouTube videos? Donna says. Yes, I love making YouTube videos. Let's see. Are you going to do... No, yeah, not on SoundCloud. Oh, I'll show it to you. It's somewhere on there. Or maybe it got removed. Maybe he removed it. Do I like Minecraft? Minecraft's fun. Favorite course you've taken? In college? Dang. I'd have to think about it, to be honest. Any plans for covers from Muse? Thinking about it. You ever play Fall Out Boy? Yeah. Would I do a song with Peter Hollins? Absolutely, Angel. Alrighty. I think that's it. I think we actually got it. Okay, now we're moving on. Yes. My parent is at the door. Yeah, what's up? Oh, I locked the door because we were scared. 1 second.
I know. Y'all had mentioned something about movie, and then Dad said he was going to play the game with y'all, and so tomorrow we're going to. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So y'all are leaving in the morning. Yeah. Okay, there is holding card for you and Josh.
Yeah.
Take that one.
Can take over for a
There's
minute,
the American
and I will look at your
card,
questions.
the credit card, that's what you need to use. It's next to that.
He will be back.
And a wired magazine.
On.
Oh, okay. What time are you doing that?
At night.
Okay.
All right, love you.
I'm taking over. I've just taken over your whole thing. Just turn the light off again. It's not scary anymore.
Huh?
Just turn the light off. It's not scary anymore. Your parents were.
I went
We have real adults.
I went rocking
Hey!
2.7 seconds on a bull named
What up, y'all?
Moving Shoe. And I loved deeper and I spoke sweeter and I watched an eagle. 'cause
Creamy
I'm an
girl. Yep.
American.
Oh, you're so kind. Care for reading part 2? No. Well, Kara's prayer. Thank you, guys. When's my
Part
birthday?
two.
July 7th. Are you gonna get over here and read your final thing?
Yes.
Everyone
And you
who
said
wants Kara to
someday
read.
I
Oh gosh,
hope
don't do
you
that to
get a
me.
chance.
Your goals. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. This is weird. It was kind of creepy.
Live like you would die.
What? The girl from
yeah.
England? Oh, I wish I was the girl from England. Caleb, please read part 2. See, people want you to read part 2.
We're about to read part 2.
Excuse me. Hiccups.
I get my creepypasta from people.
Part 2. Hi. Looks really creepy with the hand just coming out of nowhere. Let me see your ring. Oh gosh. Ow, my ears.
Sorry.
Ring. This. I don't know if it can be seen.
Okay. You
Okay.
can adjust the camera on it. Hold it up. Oh, that's bad. Hold up.
This is a blurry blur. You can kind of see it.
Okay, I tried.
You tried. It's a diamond. If you've seen one engagement ring, you've honestly seen them all. I mean, I know every girl wants to think, oh, my ring's so unique and special. And it is to her. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a rock on a ring.
Kara, can you sing for us?
Oh, there, sung.
Sometimes I get the feeling. They said, ooh, pretty. Caleb, I will find you and I will snuggle you.
Oh, well.
Thanks.
Great.
It focused for a second. It's pretty. It's so pretty.
He did good.
You're cute. I look massive. Ah! All right, time for part 2, everybody. Who's hype? Ooh, roasted. Give her all the Oscars. You get all the Oscars.
You're the kindest true gamer. In my rock.
Supernatural Plead the Fifth Hallelujah fan song. I've never even heard of it. Probably not, but I wouldn't mind hearing it.
It was really frightening.
Not what I meant. Oh, nice. You sound so pretty. Oh, she's like, no, I don't want the one note. All right.
I'm sorry.
Well, I do have some tours coming up pretty soon, which I'll tell you all about. I'll tell you some cool news after the story, so we can all zap out of the scary moment and do something pretty neat. So, the lights are off for part 2, guys. Here you go. You ready? This follows immediately after part 1. So, here we go. I was a part of the Queen's Guard in England, part 2. I was hesitant to call the police after the crazy whatever she was left my apartment, but my girlfriend wouldn't have it. Police were at our place in about 20 minutes, took our statements, woman's description, and told us to immediately call should anything else happen. But my mind was set on something else. Where'd my talkie go? But my mind was set on something else. My commander. He told me not to talk to her, and I did. And now I'm waking up in bed with her. And how in the world did she even get into my flat? Man, I too many thoughts. The next day I went to my commander's office. Sir, I said very carefully, you need to understand that losing this job, no matter how crappy it was, definitely wasn't on my to-do list. Sir, we need to talk. He looked up at me from his desk, and I swear to you, he already knew. His face lost all emotion. He didn't even ask what was happening. Sit, he said as he leaned back in his chair. Sir, I was having a hard time confessing to breaking the rules of the guard. You spoke to her. You responded. He said as he leaned towards me. Didn't you? Well, I just asked her to move, that's all. No, not the Queen's Guard command. Did you say anything else to her? I did. If you remember, besides me yelling, "Make way for the Queen's Guard," I did say, "Ma'am, will you please?" Damn it, son. Damn it. This was the first time I heard my commander curse. "Sir, who is this woman?" "I'm going to file for your immediate removal from the guard." He brushed me off as he opened his desk to look for something. "Sir," I asked, not believing I was about to lose my job. "Don't worry, I'll find you something else to do, but your days in the guard are over. Expect the transfer within a week." "Sir, but I was just..." "That is all, son. You can leave now," he said, not even looking at me. I was pissed. But then again, if I was going to keep the paycheck without having to stand in the street and deal with tourist crazy freaking creatures, I was fine. The new schedule came out, and what do you know? I was only scheduled to work one shift that week. That was really handy because I was supposed to babysit my 7-year-old niece visiting from Birmingham, and I had already planned out the whole weekend with her. Thursday came with no further incidents with the mouth wide open woman. My girlfriend had finally calmed down. She left back to Amsterdam that morning and in a good mood. Life was getting back on track. My shift that day was 6 to 10 p.m. in front of St. James Palace. There are usually 2 of us working there, but for some reason, I was scheduled to work alone from 9 to 10. Here's how the spot where I worked looks. The little wooden post is where we'd stand in case of a storm. "Okay, buddy, hang in there, almost done," my fellow guard said at 9:02 as he marched back inside. "One more hour, one last hour of this damn job, and I am free. God, it feels good," I thought as I stood still in front of my post. Night was unusually quiet, but it was starting to rain, so I guess it was to be expected. 9:30 p.m., still light rain, still boring as all get out, almost there. 9:45, rain was picking up, so I decided to spend my last few minutes in the post. I turned around. I shouldn't have. There she was. If I were a writer, I'd use all these descriptive tools to paint a picture of how horrifying that woman looked that night. Let me tell you, this was the single most horrifying thing I have ever seen, and I've seen a child getting killed by a landmine. The woman was standing at the door of the post. She wore a white dress that was nearly shining in the dark, but her face, man, her face. She wasn't looking at me, which somehow made it even worse. She was looking at the sky, or whatever the hell was up there, and her eyes went up so far I could only see bottoms of her pupils. Her mouth was so wide open. I was now nearly sure it wasn't possible for a human to do this. There is something surreal about standing in front of someone who doesn't act rationally. Like, if you're getting mugged, you know they want your money. I mean, if you're getting shot at, you know they want to kill you. But the true mental horror is not knowing what in the world someone wants from you. 9:49. Okay, 11 minutes of this, and I can finally... She took a step towards me. Then another one. At about 2 feet from me, she stopped. She started leaning. That freaking lean. Her face stopped just short of mine. At first, her head started shaking slowly, but started to move increasingly fast. It was a small kind of shaking, as I said before, kind of like when you get out of the shower into an air-conditioned room and start shaking. The pupils were so high up, I could barely see them. Her head was now trembling so fast, I was wondering how it was possible. And that mouth, man, that mouth was so unnaturally, unfreakingly, humanly open. I swear I saw corners of her lips starting to bleed because her skin wasn't able to support the opening. No sound. The street was silent. Probably the most silent I've ever seen it. And the worst part is, it was nighttime. I know I do this a lot, but just imagine it one more time. You're standing motionlessly in the middle of the street, and there is this bleeding, wide-open mouth woman an inch from your face, doing whatever the frick she's doing, and not a soul in sight. No sound whatsoever. 9:54 p.m. Come the frick on. And then, as she heard my thought, her pupils dropped back and looked straight at me. I nearly jumped back. She closed her mouth, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd rather she kept it open. Her jaw started rapidly opening and closing as if she were biting something invisible. Her teeth were hitting each other so hard I was sure they'd break. That was it for me. I couldn't take it anymore. I took a step back and screamed, "Just freaking stop already!" And she did. She stopped, teeth stopped clenching, mouth closed, and she stood back. She took a step towards me, and for the first time ever, smiled. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. She started whispering, never losing the smile. What is that? What the frick is that? I begged. I was ready to grab her, shake her, anything, just for an answer. What in the world did she want from me, right? 9:58 p.m. What the F came behind me? My commander. He ran up to me, disregarding the crazy woman in front of me. Did you talk to her? Did you freaking talk to her? He yelled, louder, while grabbing my uniform. He didn't even pay attention to the woman. Yes? Jesus Christ, what number? He finally said while finally letting me out of his fists. Sir? I answered, confused as you can imagine. What was the last number she said? What was it? Was it a 0? No, I think she stopped at 1, but why? All this time, the woman stood still and just looked at us with a smile. Then she took a step towards us. She slowly walked in between me and my commander. Don't say a thing to her. Not a freaking thing, the commander said with obvious fear on his face. The woman turned from me and towards him. She got into his face, and even from behind, I could see her mouth being wide open. Go, just go, the commander said as he looked at me. He was avoiding acknowledging her. I heard her teeth clenching. I can't just leave you, I said. Go and don't come back here. I'll take care of this. You know, I like to think of myself as brave, but at that moment, all I wanted to do was leave. I hope you can't blame me for that. So I started running away. And never talk to her again, the commander yelled as I got away. Now, I know a lot of this stuff sounds like BS, and you're right. It really does. Sure, looking back at it now, I could have arrested her. Hell, I could have even killed her. And so could have the commander. But you know what? When you find yourself in a situation as impossible and as unreal as that one, you don't act rationally. You don't think logically as you would in a normal situation. I went home, took a shower, and I collapsed on the bed. In the morning, I texted my shift buddy to see if the commander was okay. And his, yeah, why wouldn't he be, text back meant he made it. That's all I needed to know. I was out of that life. My niece came into town on Friday, and I had her for the weekend. Running around a 7-year-old will make you lose your mind, let alone leave time to think about some crazy woman harassing you. Besides, I was done with that job. That morning, I got my transfer papers. I spent the whole day taking that kid to different places she liked. It was exhausting. Saturday morning, I made us some breakfast as we watched cartoons for the good part of it. Then we put in a Catwoman movie, and my niece dressed as her. She loved her for some reason. Movie was complete trash, though. I guess I wasn't used to having to take care of the kids because I fell asleep on the couch, already exhausted. My niece woke me up. Ookie, she said. That's what she calls me. Ookie, let's play. She was holding my old pair of walkie-talkies. Oh, boy. I used to love those as a kid, so I couldn't say no to her. Sure, let's see if these old things work. Go outside of the house. I want to check the range on these babies. Her face lit up as she ran out. I turned the walkie-talkie on and started playing with it. Static noise was there, meaning the batteries worked. It was only a matter of finding the right frequency. Ashley, do you copy? Over. I tried a few times. I finally heard something. Ashley, do you copy? I repeat, do you copy? Over. Hero? Was all I heard at a low volume. Ashley, you punk, you need to say over when you're done. Here. Bro. I heard again. This damn thing, I thought. Too lazy to go out. I took the batteries out. Blew at them, because that always works. And put them back in. Okay, Catwoman hero, do you copy now? Over. 0. I dropped the walkie-talkie. That wasn't Ashley's voice. That wasn't Hero I thought I heard. Ashley. I ran outside and immediately started freaking hating myself for letting the child go out of its own. Ashley stood there in the yard holding a radio, squeezing it hard. In front of her stood that same woman bent over all the way down to my kid's face. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 was what that woman frantically repeated in Ashley's traumatized face. Yes, yeah, when some freak harasses me, I can control myself. But a child, my cousin, I lost it. I ran towards the woman and tackled her with enough force I was sure I'd hurt her. As soon as I hit the ground, I got up and grabbed Ashley. Are you all right? I yelled. Did she touch you? I didn't even realize how hard I was shaking her, probably scaring her even more. Ashley was now crying so hard she couldn't even answer. Let's go in, I said as I turned towards the woman. She was still lying on the ground face down. As soon as we got into the house, we went to the window. The woman started standing up. She turned towards us. I'm calling the police, I told terrified Ashley as I picked up my cell. Don't worry, baby. It's going to be all right. The woman took a step towards the window, then another one. Her nose was bleeding, and she was visibly hurt as she was limping, but it didn't seem to matter to her. I'll admit, I was nearly frozen from the rush of adrenaline I had. We just stood there at the window watching this freak approaching us. Police are on the way, I told my niece, who was still crying. The woman walked up to the window. She wasn't looking at me anymore. She leaned towards Ashley's face. Poor little thing grabbed my hand and was squeezing it way too hard for a 7-year-old. That freaking thing, that woman, whatever she was, leaned all the way to the window. Only a piece of glass was separating her from Ashley. As I was about to take my niece into another room, far from this thing, the woman opened her mouth, but immediately closed it into a smile. Then again, it was impossibly strange. As she'd open her mouth, her pupils would shoot up towards the back of her head, only to immediately come back, followed by a smile. She was now alternating inhumanely fast in between a smile and a gaping mouth paired with nearly pupilless eyes. Let's get out of here, I told Ashley as I picked her up and took her to my room. Police arrived about 15 minutes later. They started scanning the neighborhood and actually caught a woman who matched my description. I was due at the police station for identification, but first I had to drop Ashley off at the train station. Her mom wanted her back immediately after what happened, and I could not blame her. I took her to the station where I arranged for the staff to watch her until destination. A very pleasant conductor promised he'd watch her for the whole trip. He took Ashley's hand and promised to show her all the cool parts of the train. Finally, the kid smiled. As the train was getting ready to leave, the conductor put my niece on the stairs. Say bye to your uncle, he said. We're about to leave. Bye, Ashley. Tell your mom to call me when you arrive, okay? She didn't respond to me, which was understandable. The kid was probably still freaking terrified. Hell, I was still terrified. As the announcer said all boarding was complete, the conductor opened the door for them to get inside the train. Ashley didn't move, though. She looked up at the conductor. Let's go now, he said. Ashley opened her mouth, looking up at the man. We have to get in now. We're about to start moving, honey, he said. Let's go. As he entered the train and Ashley followed, I heard her say, 10, 9, 8. I am planning to write about what happened to Ashley at some point, though her family prefers it is kept private. And that was part 2. Wow. Wow. That's intense. Shoot. You were like, called it. Yeah, I don't think there's a part 3. Not yet. Great story, though. And that was part Nope. Nope, part 3 is coming up here in a little bit. Why didn't the commander tell him what she was? I need to go and pray now. I like Lizzie's comments. Just looks like this woman. There's a lot of loose ends. It's kind of annoying because it's like, so the woman got captured, but she said 0. Is that like transferring it in a way? Why don't we just like put her in prison?
Just woman or...
Well, that was fun. Well, anyway, ladies and gents, I think that is going to be the last creepypasta for the night, which it is now midnight. So we have officially ended Horror for Hyles. It's over. Put a nail in it. If you want to go relive it, go to some of the other videos. Quick announcement. Patron month is in November. Cool things going on. When you finish watching the Epiphany cover, click the link at the end of it and go look at my announcements for Patreon month in November. Cool things happening there. Go to my Patreon account and just basically, if you're a patron or if you want to become a patron, you will get the $15 reward, which is a custom 5-song CD that I sign for you. So go check out the details on Patreon, my Patreon page, which is in the description of any of my videos, and it's also on my channel.
Also,
What?
well, there is a link on your fan page that is linked to your website. It's 5 reasons why you should be a patron for November.
There's also a link to my page on my fan page. There's a link to my website, to an article called 5 Reasons Why You Should Be a Patron in November. So go check that out. Read it. Has all the details you need to know about Patron Month. I would really love it if you check it out. As always, my stuff is free. I do this for free. I love doing it. That's why I like to do it for y'all. And it makes me happy. It's a plus. I was going to tell them about the con. Was what else?
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, if you have them here, go ahead and just maybe mention a couple of things. They get a free CD.
Oh yeah, you get that free CD. That's what I was talking about. You get you also there's a cover album I've done, guys, that I have not released. It's a 9-song album I did with my friend, and it's got 9 covers that you've never heard before that I did. And that'll be released to anybody who becomes a patron, no matter what your pledge is. If it's $1, $3. I'm gonna have patron calls every night, starting this week.
Let's be clear. You only have to pledge $1.
Yeah, let's be clear on all of this, guys. You only need to pledge $1 per video for 1 month to get all these rewards straight up. And every Wednesday or every week, every single week on a day, I'm going to do patron calls for all my patron family, so they can be a part of that. So if you can just give even $1, guys, you can be a part of these patron calls. And it's per video, but you can set caps and whatnot, so you don't have to you're not going to spam you. If I post 7 videos, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I pledged 5. Now I got to pay $35. Like, no, it's not like that. You can pretty much set a cap. Like, even if you pledge 5, if you're like, I only want to pledge 2 videos, so that's $10 total. That's all you got to do. You get that 5 exclusive patron CD. Everybody gets a CD. Everybody. It's going to be a lot of work for me, but everyone gets a CD. The kicker in all this is you have to message me on Patreon telling me your songs and your address. For lower tiers, it's not going to ask for your address. You have to send me your address. I say that all in the description. It's on the website. Just stating it now. So, and also, concert update on a little more fun note. I am performing at YomuCon in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's a smaller con. It's on its 3rd year. They're estimated to have about 2,500 people there this year. It's a free con, day con, on November 14th. Right after the cosplay contest at 4, I am going to be performing a 1 hour long live set of covers that I've done and possibly some new music. So that's going to be live in concert, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, November 14th. It's a free con. You can come get all the stuff you want. And I sing at 4 o'clock in their main room. So go check that out. I'm also in talks with AniCon, which is Anniston, Alabama. I'm in talks with Ichiban Con, which is Concord, North Carolina, for December 31st through January the 3rd. That con has Vic Mignogna and Todd Havercorn. I'm in talks with San Japan for their mini con next year in the summer. So that's going to be tight at the Mall of America. I was in talk with Nerdicon, but it's on a date that I can't be there. And what other con am I talking to? I said Ichiban Con, YomuCon. There's others I'm forgetting right now, but I'm trying to get in more contact with more cons so I can go around the country and see you guys, and you guys see me live. Mostly Southeast, but I'm trying to break out further into other territories. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. What? Yeah. I just don't want to. I almost don't want to say that too much because then people expect it, and if I can't get it to work, then it's just a big letdown. Okay, well then I'll tentatively say this for now, guys. Once I reach 200K subscribers, which should be relatively soon, I bought some equipment with the patron money that could allow me to have live concerts over Skype, or not over Skype, live concerts over Google Hangouts. So I could actually do live concerts here on YouTube. And I'm excited for that. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but once I hit 200K, I'm just going to have a big concert for everybody, performing some of my covers, doing some new stuff. So it's going to be really exciting. So that gives you more incentive then to share with your friends my music and get them to be a subscriber and have them join the fun. So yeah, I think that's everything. You seem apprehensive.
I was making sure.
I think that's everything for now, guys.
Follow Caleb on Periscope.
Follow me on Periscope.
It's linked through Twitter somehow.
Link through Twitter somehow.
There's some people aren't here. I feel like it's easier for me to come over.
Follow Caleb on Periscope for you don't. It's like a live stream thing, but it's like one of those on the go. So I pretty much hold up any mobile device and record him, and he'll do like live practice sessions or random sessions with other people. He did one with his friend Brinkley the other week, and they stay for 24 hours. So if you want to go check out the ones he did last night, I think they might still be there. But Periscope, it's through Twitter. Some people on here already use it. And then the other thing is he has a PO box now that you can send him snail mail, because we got a lot of requests for that over the past year, and we just were like, should we do it? So we feel pretentious about it, but people have asked enough for it. They were like, okay, let's try it. So we have a PO box for a while, and the address is on his fan page, and I'll make a post of it again soon, because I don't know if so anyway, that's housekeeping. That's what I do, all the housekeeping things. I think that's it.
Yay.
But yeah, Patreon month, be a $1 pledge, get all those awesome rewards. If you want to know more about that, if you seriously want to consider doing a $1 pledge for the month of November and see what you'd be eligible for, please go check out the little article on his website. It'll tell you every single detail that you need to know about Patron Appreciation Month. And we appreciate patrons that are here now and future ones. And we still appreciate you who are not patrons, because you're still part of the Hyles Hype crew.
That's true.
We love you very much, and we're very thankful for you.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I think that's it. Here's the mic.
Thank you. I like this mic. I like having this mic.
Oh yeah, help him get to 200K. We are like 3,000 people away from it. 200K. Hopefully a concert for you guys. Streams, stage it or whatever. I don't know what that thing is.
Yeah, it'd be tight. Stage it. That would be really good. Alrighty, guys. There's all that stuff. And yes, hope to see y'all again soon. Thank you for coming to the Creepypasta Night stream. Talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for making this month awesome, making for Horror for House as successful as it was. And stick around for Patron month, and then stick around for more awesome stuff that we got in the works coming for December, and then onward into next year. Alrighty, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Wow. Peace, love, and metal. Peace out, guys.